Good evening and welcome. It's good to be back. I've finished work and I'm feeling fresh. I'm feeling ready for another stream. And tonight's news is massive news. Now we've got news on the stadium development. We've had two new signings. Omar Richards has unfortunately sustained an injury. England are winning 2-1 as well, so it's coming home on that front. And there's more news coming round from Jesse Lingard and his potential, and I would say quite a shock move to Nottingham Forest in the coming week. So we've got a lot to discuss tonight, and we're going to get through it all. Trust me, no matter how long it takes. There's a lot to go into. There's a lot more depth to the things that are being spoke about today, because we're all seeing headlines at the moment. We're all seeing headlines. Jesse Lingard this, Omar Richards this, Stadium this. Let's actually get down into the nitty-gritty of what is going on. And also, I'll let you guys talk about pre-season today, because from what I'm hearing, a bit more of a positive game. I mean, 3-1's a good result. Lyle Taylor getting a brace, which is good. I wonder what Steve Cooper's plans are for him next season. Maybe his value is a little bit more, but we can't really judge that off pre-season, can we? Now, it's good to see some of you in. Osborne, you were the first in. Hello, I hope you're doing well. Ured says pets, plants and fish tanks. Woods, hope you're doing well, my friend. Joe, Kian, Stevie Cooper for Prime Minister. Yeah, I'm up for that. There's a vacancy going, isn't there? Martz, I hope you're doing well. Jigsy, you also. Good to have you in, my friend. And Darren Hickman, good to have you over from the USA. I'm sorry about the timing, because I would have done this way earlier if I could have. We had paella night on at the pub, so I've been literally just working that. So I'm really sorry. This is my last shift for the next week or two. So I've got a lot of time to do streams whilst also going to Germany and having some birthday time off as well. So yeah, sorry about the lateness. It's probably not going to be the busiest of streams tonight in terms of how many people are on, but it's going to be a good one regardless, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to be talking about our favourite team. So I'm doing well. Thank you very much, Woodsy. A bit tired, I must say, but that's just the standard at the moment. Me and the first team coach for Steve Cook's team that he's just bought, we're going to be doing a podcast tomorrow. Me and Colin Frey hopefully doing a podcast soon. Gary Birtles as well. And we're trying to get Billy Davies on to kind of talk about what happened during his reign at Forest. So a little bit of bitterness, I'm sure, but and for good reason. But we're going to talk to him about that, hopefully. I'm working my hardest to make these podcasts happen. Let's have a look. Now that Saucy says, I saw something saying Lingard is having a medical on Friday. Is that true? Whether it's Friday, which is only 2 days away, right? Or not, I don't know. I would say it's likely, given how things are going. Now, obviously, that depends. If everything goes well and everything's agreed and that's fine, then yes, Friday could happen. But it's looking like West Ham just won't cough up the money that he wants, and essentially Forest will. And someone put out something really good on Twitter earlier when they said, this owner does not look at survival. He's looking at more than this. He's ambitious. You know, he's looking into the future with signings like Brandon Aguilera. He's looking into the future with all the signings, in fact, because they're all young signings with spots of experience, which Lingard will bring, because Lingard isn't 24 as everybody thinks. You know, Lingard will bring experience. Don't get it mistaken. You know, everything that's going on with all this TikTok stuff, it's funny and it's good to banter about it, but on a serious note, he does mean business, and he does have experience working with some really good players. You know, he was working with Sir Alex, wasn't he, for a while at United when he was a youngster. So give it time. Give it time. I think it will do really well at Forest, regardless of the pay. James, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to have you in the stream. Miri, great to have you also. Billy Bilson, evening, my friend. Peter Hutchinson, good to have you. Lingard would be a massive statement signing. It would. But not just that. But it's also about his quality that he brings, and he will bring quality. And for the money we pay, it's actually less than other players we would get. So even if he's on a 2-year deal, we're paying 18 million for him, which is, I think, about what a club would ask for his service anyway. Or if you looked at West Ham for him, you'd be asking for 20 plus, really. Evening, Jamie. Ez, don't worry. Give me about 20 minutes or something, and I'll have you join the stream. Just going to kind of get some things out of the way first, and we'll have a discussion. Brian says he loves King Billy. I mean, that's a debatable one, isn't it? Come on, you Red, says Zahir. Good to have you in. Thank you for responding to my post on YouTube earlier. Yeah, good to have you here. Good day for Forest. Huddersfield Joe signed, sealed, delivered, even after all the even even after all the controversy. We've finally done it. Greg Watto says, hopefully Paul is tucked up in bed. I'm not getting involved with this one. I don't know do you guys want to see David Poole come back on? It was a controversial one, but I enjoyed talking to David. Alex Martin needs to stay. He's looking very sharp. He is looking good. But I would say that he's looked good in a few, friendlies and things we've done before. But what do you think? Do you reckon Alex Martin needs a loan? Because I think he needs a loan, and he'll only get better from there. So see how it goes. Sam Randall, the main man, legendary cricket and football player. Been tonight, Jamie, and they played superbly. Brilliant signings. I'm glad. Were both of them playing? Were O'Brien and Toffolo playing? I mean, I don't know. Only 100, as I say, I weren't there, so unfortunately. But so that's good. Good that they played well. How was Niakate as well? Because he was fantastic at Barnsley. He did say after promotion he wants trophies. Good. That's all we can ask for. I love the ambition, and I also love the fact he's willing to spend to make that happen. And they're spending sensibly as well. Colback didn't look in the game today. Yeah, I think Colback, he's a good player. He always gives everything. But I think sometimes he becomes over-aggressive and just resorts to pushing people over, which just doesn't help, really. So, yeah, I like Colback, but, he has his days, but he's a good player. He could also help us attract other players. Yeah, Lingard is more than just an on-the-field signing. He's off the field as well, and that's why it's so important. So, he wants to push for an England call-up, as Wood says. So, it's a massive signing. Better performance tonight, much sharper. Back five tonight could start at Newcastle. Brilliant. It's just good to see that we're doing well. I mean, I know Hertha haven't been in the greatest of form, but, there's Union Berlin's going to be really challenging. So it's just good to see that that Forest are doing what we were hoping for. And it's good to see that we're trusting in the process a little bit more. England have won through to the semis. Good news for them. You think we'll get... let's have a chat about Emmanuel Dennis. He's fast. He's good at scoring. He can do a bit of everything. Watford want £25 million for him. Now, I think we could get him for less, but not a lot less. I still think they wouldn't budge under 20 million. He's a good striker, and I think he's worth every penny. But where does he fit in our system? At the moment, where does he fit? Because you've got a £17.5 million pound player, the club record, joint record signing. You've got him sitting there next to Brennan Johnson, who's probably worth 20 odd million. And Emmanuel Dennis, he can't be a backup. So if he's going for the 5-3-2 that we would usually play with the three midfielders, or maybe if we were going at four at the back, possibly. I don't know how it would work. I don't know how versatile Dennis is as well. But Peter, it's 25 million is what the Daily Mail is saying. So you're probably right if it's Daily Mail saying that. I didn't watch the game, unfortunately. I was working, but I am going to be at the Union Berlin one this Saturday. So I'll be commentating as well. So if any of you want to hear my commentary, just give me a message on Twitter or whatever. It's at I'm Jamie Martin, and I'll more than happily send you the link. Evening, David. Here he is, Mr. Controversy. Sam Randall. Only Toffolo played and was excellent. Niakate's a beast. Loads of recovery pace. Needed Jamie Martin energy in the midfield a little. I love that. I must say, Sam, it's going to be probably a bit of a while till I'm back playing football. My hip is not looking too clever. But yeah, if Steve Cooper wants to call me up and get me up in that midfield, I would love it. Steve, I'm sure you've probably got my number somewhere. Give us a call, mate. But yeah, Niakate, class. I've not seen Toffolo, but good to see that he's fitting in, because I spoke to a Huddersfield fan who's my business teacher. He's now left, but as he should for these comments. But he said that he didn't think that Toffolo was that good in the Championship, and he didn't think that he would make the step up to the Prem. So I don't think that it makes sense to strike off Toffolo. I think some Huddersfield fans, unfortunately, are quite bitter about the whole situation. Obviously, losing big players you're going to be, but yeah, I think they need to be a bit more kind to how they're speaking to players that serve their club and help them get to a pretty important place. Toffolo, 6 goals, 8 assists last year. That's really good. For the player that he is as well, that's really good. I mean, that is fantastic. So, pretty good for him. West Ham saying Lingard flew to London last night and went to Marinakis' house. But listen, there was all this going on of, he's flown to London, so he's not talking to Forest. It's not true. Discussions for both teams were being had. And don't get me wrong, discussions for both teams are still being had. So maybe West Ham could come back and put in a bigger offer, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It will break their wage structure, some of the fans have been saying. News going around that Lolly is signing for Coventry. It seems that Coventry love a bit of Forest players at the moment. I mean, Panzo scored 2 goals on his debut, so I'm sure Lolly could get about 6. Dennis went cold second half of the season. Wouldn't worry me, to be honest. So Chris, I'm going to ask you a question directly then. Would you pay 20 million for Emmanuel Dennis, or do you think it's just not worth the money? What are you thinking about that? Let me know. Brian Achtung Jamie, I'm not quite sure what that means. It's been a while since I've done German. Warren, good to have you in the chat, my friend. Nia Carte uses class, says David. Tower not looking convincing yet, to say the least. Huddersfield's fans very. Listen, with Awoniyi, you've got to give it time. You've got to give it time. And I know that people are worrying because it's understandable. It's 17.5 million. It's not a small amount. But you've got to give it time. It's going to take time. Obviously, we can't be having a striker that's not scoring goals because, we can't win by playing defence, right? You can get a point every now and then, but you can't do that every game. As impressive as our defence is, you can't do it every game. So, of course, there's going to have to be work done on Awoniyi, but I think it's a confidence thing. I just think he needs confidence. So let's all get behind him, big him up on Twitter, and I'm sure he'll do well in the coming time. Evening, Phil. I hope you're doing well. I'll be with you tomorrow at 9, and we'll have a quick chat. And be good to speak to you a little bit about Forest. And I appreciate you taking us to Edinburgh. There is free food and a pint waiting for you at the pub that you know what I mean. When we come back, so there'll be some gifts. Dennis can play in the wide roles, so a bit of versatility there. That'll be quite good. Osborne says he doesn't want Dennis personally. I think Lingard and Davies, 2 midfielders, and I'll be happy. Interesting. I suppose though Dennis a bit more Prem experienced, I suppose, with Watford. Not that they did much, but still something. Now Brandon has tagged me in something on Twitter, and Brandon, come on, Lingard in front of a Christmas tree means nothing. Come on, don't do this to me. Henderson made a top save, looked very good on the ball. Good to see him back in the kit. Hennessy was great when he came on last week to replace him, but you know what? I'm just happy. I know there's a lot of talk about the wages, but Henderson's a cracking keeper. And, potentially if De Gea doesn't leave next year from Man United, Man United don't sign another goalkeeper, which they probably will, knowing United. They don't care about home talent. Then yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Forest 1-6 on Sky Bet for Lingard. That's really good. Ojeda and Mbeso were class. I think Mbeso's good. Ojeda, for me, in the Barnsley game, he did everything, but he just lacked the final product. So it's good to see that he's been training on that a bit more. I like the look of him. He's young as well, so he's got time ahead of him to get even better. Nia Carte, solid. Love the bringing the ball out, calm on the ball. Yeah, do you know what I like that about him? Because he is really forward-thinking, like how Worrell was with Spence last season. Just knows where to pass it, and he just has attack in his mind all the time. He's not passing it back constantly. That's what I like about him. And he's got a good bit of skill to him as well. Let's have a look. You think with all this Lingard news means the end of us targeting Gibbs White? No, I don't think it is, because there's nothing that says we're going to sign Lingard yet. It's great to have all these odds saying we're going to, but anything can happen. I mean, we nearly saw it with Toffolo and O'Brien. That deal nearly went out the window. And there's nothing to say that Lingard's deal won't. And I've touched wood, it doesn't, but it could. We need to be prepared for that. And of course, it'll be a lot of money to spend on Gibbs White, but I just think he's a good number 10. So if we don't get Lingard, then anything can happen. But I would still say they're not going to just put all the cards on Lingard and that's it. Then, if they don't get him, they don't get him. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's more of a case of, listen, we've got our eyes on multiple players, but at the moment we're in more advanced talks for Lingard. And I don't even know if Forest have made an official bid for Morgan Gibbs White. I think they were all rumours. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Have we been linked to Grosicki yet? Oh, God, not again. So, where's Surridge? I think Surridge, he's still recovering from a groin injury, and there's no, as Ras says, there's no current date he's going to be back. So, give it time. But at the moment, He's injured with a groin problem. I know that he's working on it and he's still training a little bit, but nothing major. 6 minutes in, Awani took the ball down, spun, got a shot off, and looked good. Exactly. You know, there's things that you've got to take away from it that are positive. Now, I sound like Chris Hughton saying that, don't I? But listen, it's good. It's just good to see him trying and getting a bit better. Yeah, and Phil, I think you're right on this. I just think he needs a bit of delivery. And I think O'Brien's going to be the one to do this, Lingard and O'Brien, because O'Brien, he's good at passing. He's got the pace to go forward. He can get around players pretty easily, and he's quite a quick passer as well, and he's got good vision. So I think, given the time, I think O'Brien will do that. And I think Awani will get the delivery he deserves and needs. So just give it time. Give it time. I think we'll see a different side to him in the Union Berlin game. He knows the weaknesses of the club, obviously, but they know his strengths as well. So it's going to be a challenge for him, but I think he'll score. I mean, I said he'll score tonight, but I've still got faith. Come on. Yeah, Taylor was good tonight. I did watch some highlights and he seemed to do quite well. But as Ben says, I think many will argue that we probably need to offload him when you'll get a couple of million for him, which will go towards wage budgets and stuff. With Richards out, would you want Forest to get another left back in? This is a really good question. Now, yeah, and guys, if you can, there's 91 of you in, please smash the like button, because after all, literally everything you do, you know, in terms of subscribing and everything, it goes a long way. And it does actually really, I'll put this up again. It does actually really help the channel. So it gets us seen and it gets our club put on the map. So yeah, please subscribe if you can, and like if you can as well. Now listen, let's talk about Omar Richards. It's a blow. It's a massive blow. Now you can see on the top left, Paul Taylor made a tweet saying Omar Richards has suffered a hairline fracture, which I was told about as well. Someone did message me about this, but it wasn't confirmed, and I've waited till it is. And it's gutting. It's gutting. It's not brilliant news, and I'm quoting Paul right now. But as Steve Cooper says, hopefully he should not be out for months and months. So I'm imagining maybe a month and a half. It's a big blow, right? At the moment, perhaps you could say we've got Cole back as a replacement for Toffolo at very last bet, but it's not looking good in that position. Anything happens to Toffolo in this next month or two could be detrimental to Forest's crucial opening months. So, of course, we want to make sure that Forest do well. One position can decide, you know, what losing a key player in one position can have a huge impact. We've seen it before. So obviously losing Omar Richards is a blow. It's a massive blow. But of course, you know, we should be a bit more optimistic in the fact that he's not going to be out for months and months, as Steve Cooper says he hopes. And, you know, I'm sure the player that we get back when he's back from injury will be absolutely class. So give it time, everybody. It's unfortunate. These things do happen. But that's just football. Let's all just get behind him, and I'm sure he'll be fine as well. People talking about Nico Williams. Was he played on the right tonight, guys? Let me know. Literally just put a thumbs up or say yes if he was played on the right tonight, because I thought he looked okay and he looked really good on the left in terms of getting past players, but same as Ojeda, just didn't have that end product. He found it almost a bit too awkward to get the cross in. So I like Nico Williams. He's going to do really well. Just let me know if he was playing on the left or the right. Let's have a quick look. Maxwell Cornet can play along the whole left-hand side and fill in it. Cornet is an option, but if you've got Omar Richards, Toffolo and Cornet, I just think you're becoming overloaded. I think the standard of left-back we would need to bring in is decent, but nothing major. But that's a hard call to make. It's a really hard call to make. And you've got to look at money as well. Ant the Hat, thank you for subscribing, Ant. Means a lot to me. There's 846 of you currently subscribed, you know, and honestly, it means the world to me. You know, if we can get to 850 by the end of the night, that'd be class, wouldn't it? We're still aiming for 1,000 before the Newcastle game. So if you could do that, that'd be amazing. And for the 1,000 subscriber special, I think me and Ez are going to have a singing contest. So let me know if you want to see that. I like that Moreno, but won't be cheap. Absolutely. I'd love to have Moreno in the squad. You know, he wouldn't play depth, though. He would want first-team football. He's 29, so he's still, I wouldn't say he's in the peak of his career. I mean, he might be. But 17 million, he's not a depth player. In fact, he's first-team over Richards and Toffolo, but we just know that won't happen. So Nico Williams on the right today, yes, that's good. That's really good. I'm good to see that he's playing on the right. His final ball was great and looked very energetic. See, this is what we like to see. This is what we like to see. I think people are being played in the right positions now, and it's all coming into place. And you can say what you want about Hertha Berlin's pre-season form, but they're still a challenge. They're a good German side. So it's just good to see. And as I said, he looks more comfortable. We'll get you to talk about that as in just probably another 10 minutes. So it's good to see they're playing him in the right positions. But, you know, when I last saw Nico, it was his debut. So it's good to see he's made such a big leap in such a small amount of time. Nico just carried on from Spence last season. Brilliant. That's fantastic. It's a bit of a relief because I've come home from work and I've entered and there's so much news going around, and obviously Doors streaming at the moment as well. So I've kind of had to think about, will people be joining my stream tonight? And I just want to say I appreciate all of you coming to my stream, because I know Doors a fantastic YouTuber. So, you know, I know people have gone over there to watch him for a bit, and I completely understand. But, you know, we're going to be, unfortunately, there was a bit of a clash with timings just due to the game and stuff. But that's just how it goes, isn't it? No one wants to see or hear that. We all want to hear a singing contest. Come on. Opinions on Dennis. He's fast. And as I've said, Lewis, he's fast. He's got a good end product. I think in a Watford side, he did well, which is not easy. So, do you know what? Give him time. In terms of if we're going to negotiate, give it time. And I'm sure that Forest will have scouted him even more. I mean, Forest know what they want. The scouts know what they want already. You know, I can't imagine they're going out looking for brand new people now. I'm sure they've probably got a list of people and they're going through it. So, yeah, I would say there's nothing solid in that thing yet. I don't even think there's been a bid put in. But that being said, there could be in the next couple of days. We don't know. Tagliafico, 4 million. Yeah, no doubt. Anybody that plays FIFA or Football Manager will know this. Listen, I'd have Tagliafico in a heartbeat. Champions League experience, you know, top Dutch league experience. He's played against some of the best players in the world. So for me, I'd have Tagliafico in a heartbeat. It's good to have a late night stream. See, I would do them more often, but with school I can't. But with holidays now happening, I can. So if you want to have later streams, literally just tell me. Let me know what you think. Stevie Cooper for Prime Minister. Brennan wasn't as effective as an attacking midfielder as compared to when he plays on the right. They will. Lingard or Gibbs-White will come in. I think it will be one of the two as well. Everything, look, I know that we're all on the hype train of let's go for Lingard and it's going to be great. Anything could happen, as I've suggested, but that's me. That's the realistic side of me coming out. Now is the optimistic and probably probable side. I think that Lingard will join. Right, I think that's going to happen. I think he'll probably join and he'll be on a big wage, nearly 200k a week. West Ham won't pay more than 150. So it's anywhere between that. So give it time, guys. I keep saying give it time, don't I? I know. But listen, the negotiators will do their thing. It will cost money. But in the long term, I think there's a big financially, this deal it could be more lucrative than Morgan Gibbs-White. But arguably, Morgan Gibbs-White is younger and more. So it's a hard debate to have, but if we want someone that's going to be easier to get in at a cheaper price, Lingard is your man at this point. Thank you very much, Peter, for subscribing. Means a lot to me. Chris, you'd love Garner. I do love Garner. And I'd love to see him join the club. I think we could see it. He's back from injury now and he's training with Man U. So I don't know what's going on with that. But with Eriksen there now, it's tough. News on the hour. Good to have you on the stream. Good channel. Floodlights on at the City Ground. Yes. Who knows what they're doing? I don't know if they're testing them. Maybe. I'd love it, wouldn't you? If Lingard was already there. But we haven't seen him in Hooters. So he can't be in Nottingham just yet. I believe we play Niakate in the middle of a back three today. Looked like a brick wall. McKenna and Wazza are just adding. Listen, Niakate is fantastic. He's got good physicality. He's got good forward thinking. He's got good vision. And he's got good skill. And he holds the ball up well as well. So, yeah, I really like him. I think he looked class for Mainz. But he looks class for Forest as well. You know, and it's good to see him in a red shirt. So, listen, I love Niakate, and he did amazing the Barnsley game, considering the bad game it was. He was a standout player. Pukki from Norwich, I don't know, just because of age, but it could be a backup. To be fair, it's not an awful shout. Garner, Lingard, Larson, MGW, Zidane, Henry. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Zidane would be quite nice. Yeah, that's true. Apparently, Jesse Lingard having medical tomorrow. That's an interesting one. I'll have a quick look at Twitter now, Brandon, because I know you've tweeted me. So according to Mirror Football and West Ham Place, Jesse Lingard will, and this is will, undergo a medical at Nottingham Forest a day earlier than we expected. So tomorrow. Now, Pete, Pets, Plants and Fish Tanks, it's looking like it could be Thursday now. So how do you feel about that? Bob, you like the late streams? Thank you. Darren likes, I know you will because you're in the US. I will try my very best to keep doing this at this time. Of course, family stuff as well takes into account, but I'll try and do more at this time if you guys want it like this. So Jason Lee, certain Forest player called Jason Lee. Have we given up on MGW? No, we haven't. Obviously, this Lingard situation could change it, and likely will. But we haven't given up. We haven't given up. I think it's a case of now knowing what they want specifically, what Everton will budge to, and also how much we want him. Because if Everton want him more than us and they're willing to pay more, let them outbid themselves, I say. We're just going to have to look at other options. But Lingard is coming in. So getting sort of sick of Dor asking for, listen, Dor's been doing it for 5 years now, and his channel is growing at an amazing pace. I love Dor's channel, conduct streams differently. But listen, Dor's doing great things. I love Dor. And yeah. So let's all spread some positivity, because we're all doing this for Forest family, and and he wants, the more you like videos like this, the more Forest gets seen on YouTube. So, and that's a great thing. More news we can have on Forest on YouTube is just better, isn't it? So yeah, let's all spread a bit of positivity. Lingard will be quality at Forest. George says, out of the four, who are you having? Lingard, MGW, Dennis, or Cornet? For me, because I would, if I was manager, I'd be more youth focused. I'm referencing Football Manager again, but I am more of a youth focused manager on that, as I would be in real life. I think Lingard's going to be a quality sign, though, and it's a real close second. But for me, Morgan Gibbs-White. The thing that throws me off and makes me choose Lingard, though, is price. So it's 50-50 between Lingard and MGW. Dennis and Cornet, great players, but between them two, I'm more interested in. And as John Rondo says, yeah, it's 30 million straight up in 1 year, or, well, it's 9 million per year at the max wage, or at 180k a week. So could be 10 million, obviously, with 200k. So a tough one. But yeah, financially, Lingard is the better option. Despite the weekly pay, which is high, it's not that much overall. Spanish media just reported that we want Alex Moreno as an attacking player. That's interesting. I mean, potentially. I suppose if Cornet, or because I know they're asking 17.5 million, if Moreno if they're asking for 20 million for Moreno, I'd always go for Cornet. He's younger, experienced in English football. He would be the better option if the finances weren't any lower. Mangala are also interested. Apparently, this is according to German media, the Stuttgart player, Aurel Mangala, is going to be making his decision on if he's going to join Nottingham Forest or any other pursuing clubs in the next couple of days. So stay tuned with that. Mangala could be in a red shirt in the next couple of weeks, or he could be in a completely different shirt. You'll literally just have to wait and see. Nothing set in stone. So anything could happen at this point. It's all up in the air. Lingard versus MGW. You buy cheap, you buy twice. Yeah, it's that is true. But with Lingard, he does have a lot more experience in the Prem, and recently as well. Look how well he did at West Ham. It's a good West Ham side, by the way. He's got good players around him, but he created a lot of chances and scored a lot of goals. So, and as I say, in this graphic, actually, I'm about to show you, Jesse Lingard, he's 29, 358 appearances, 74 goals, 55 assists. He's free value, and he's got 0.36 contributions per game in terms of goals. or assists. So not bad, actually. Quite good record, really. And on a free as well. You can't complain about that. Let's have a look. What do you think our loan will be? I would have said Conor Gallagher, but I don't think that's even a thing now. I couldn't really say, to be completely honest. I would have thought Boya as well from Chelsea or Borgia. But it looks like West Ham are going to buy him. So, yeah, I don't know at this rate. Brian says, I love Cook. Yeah, he's a good defender. Wonder if Forest will bid again for Mangala. I'm sure they probably will. I mean, he's defensive-minded, isn't he? So, yeah, it's interesting. Hi, Jay, just tuned in. Anyone else been constantly? Trust me, my friend, it's unhealthy how long I've been on my phone today. Literally just scanning Twitter. I'm regularly checking in whilst I'm on this stream to see what's going on. Listen, anything's possible. And twists and turns can happen. That's something we've seen in football. But that's the reality of it. These things do happen, and we've seen changes and everything. But I think Lingard's going to happen. I'm confident. Miri. No news on Davis currently. Last thing I heard was talks, so nothing new. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. No one is going to work in Nottingham tomorrow if Lingard signs. No, they're not. Where am I tomorrow? Well, I'll be heading to Scotland tomorrow. So, unfortunately, there won't be a stream if we do sign Lingard, and I'm so gutted about it. But hopefully we're going to be doing one in Germany. Dor will as well. Dor's doing a stream in Germany, so that's quite cool. Mangala apparently now with the squad due to COVID, but they don't expect him to return. So, I mean, he's defensive-minded. So if he can play a 6 role, if we can't get Garner, I wouldn't turn him down. 2 streams a day and a late, lol. Is that for me? Do you want me to do 2 streams a day? I don't think I could keep up with that. That'd be too much. Any news on Valencia tickets? Nothing yet. I know that Notts County ones are out. I don't know if that depends on what kind of membership you have. I'm not up to date with that, to be honest, because I don't have to buy tickets for games, fortunately. But yeah, just Brian, if you know anything about that, let us know. John Rondo says, behave David Poole. Mangala, is he a Bond villain? Oh, God. I think if Lingard signs, our chance of staying up go up tenfold and could possibly have a shout of top 10. Well, listen, it's yeah, it's an ambitious thing. It's ambitious, but the owner doesn't want to just survive. The owner wants to succeed, because it's okay surviving by the brim of your teeth, but at the end of the day, how good is that for the club? Because everybody's gambling on you again the next year to go down. So it's a tough one. Stop mentioning Dor, says Joe. I'm sorry, this is what people are saying in the comments. I love Dor. And as David Poole says, he has a different style. He's great, top guy. Thank you, John, also for your comment about my channel. And as Nikki says, big up the Forest YouTubers. Yeah, listen, we're all volunteers, technically. I do get paid for sponsorship, but it comes at no cost to you guys. And I'm talking of sponsorships, boom. Remedy Beast, CBD company, fantastic after training lotions and more. And you can use my code, I'm Jamie Martin, as well when you visit them. So Remedy Beast sponsoring the Media Man. But yeah, big up Forest YouTubers. We don't do it and we don't get a lot of money, that's for sure, if any. And also all my money I reinvest into this. So yeah. Ben Russell, I think the squad is 80% completed, maybe 4 or 5 more signings. Okay, Ben, this is a question for you and other people then. Who would your next 4 or 5 signings actually be? And you've got to take real budget into account. What do you think? I'm trying to get through all your comments as quick as I can, and also in as in-depth as I can before going on to the next topic. Yeah. If they only want to pay the money for Lingard, I'm not going to argue. I said it on Twitter earlier. If Steve Cooper wants him, I want him. If Steve Cooper thinks he'll fit in the squad, I think he'll fit in the squad. If Steve Cooper thinks he's got the ability to play in a Forest squad and we've got the ability to sign him, then I'm happy. Lingard looked a different player at West Ham. Yeah, and he had good spells at United as well. Even in a tough United side to play in, morally and what else. It's tough. When Lingard sign, Toy going to mistake him for Figs? Well. Listen, am I going to... So there was an incident where I mistook McKenna for Figueiredo because I didn't have my glasses on and I was quite far away and I shouted and it wasn't him. Yeah, so I made a mistake. Okay, that's how it is. David Paul says we're going to finish 6th still. Oh, Scarpa, nothing yet. It looks like if Olympiacos don't stay in the Champions League beyond January, he will join Forest. So let's see how it goes. Top 6, good God, I know. I would have said 15th. I'm still, but I'm feeling a bit more confident. So I think Tyro slander is so weird. 100%, Jack. No, I 100% agree. I've never slandered him, by the way. Have I said that I was concerned? At some point, yes. Was that a silly comment? Yeah. Because, at the end of the day, lots of factors to be taken into account, and pressure's one of them. So for me, I'm not too worried. It's going to take time, and I think time we can give him. So, all faith in him. I think he's going to do well. Ben says 2 centre mids, 1 more defensive minded, a 10, and an explosive attacking option. Garner, Mangala, Gibbs, White, Cornet. Oh, that would be amazing. Ben, you've hit the nail on the head, my friend. If you ever want to come on a stream and talk, let's talk, because that's a good lineup. Lingard and Dennis are coming. I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, Richard, with the Dennis situation. We've still got to make a bid yet, and I don't think we have. So takes time. Lingard, Mangala, Kamara as well from Olympiacos. Yeah. Garner, Dennis, Davis. So let's have a think then. Dennis or Davis? Of course, sentiment says Davis, but ability? Would you take Dennis over him? Surviving. Let's have some ambition and put a tenner down. 1,000 to 1 for the Reds to win the Prem. I mean, don't forget that time we came up and we did win. It's nothing's impossible. Congratulations to Philip Zinkenagel. He scored in the Champions League tonight. Was that a qualifier or what was that? Was that straight Champions League? Congratulations to him. Not sure on names, but once Lingard's done another 2 CMs and attacking mid-striker, yeah, definitely. A 10, a 6, another mid. Potentially, I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to say about depth left back. I wonder if Biancone is versatile enough to cover that position, maybe. I don't know. I know he's more right focused, but we'll see. Lingard, Davis, Mangala and Garner, good shouts. So you've got 2 6s, maybe an 8 with Garner as well. Lingard 10, Davis, yeah. Number 9, good options. Who do you think will be the first choice keeper? Or Hans? Come on, this is obvious. This is Dean Henderson, 100%. Hennessy's great, but Dean Henderson is the first choice keeper, especially for the money that we're paying him. Aaron Ramsdale. I thought you said Aaron Ramsdale then. Aaron Ramsey's a good shout. Yeah, he's on a free. So let's have a think about it. Right. Rather sign Davis over Dennis. Interesting. Davis for team contribution. Davis again. Interesting. At this rate, we spend 170 million. Wouldn't surprise me. Gilmour or Ampadu on loan. I think Ampadu's a good option, but yeah, Gilmour's quite good as well. Now listen, let's talk about the next big bit of news. Mark has said there is a council meeting next Thursday, so that is the 28th of July, day after my birthday, and we will be streaming on that day to discuss the planning applications. Does sound very hopeful. Now, current rumours and official rumours, or should I say official reports, are suggesting that Rushcliffe Borough Council are going to give the green light to Nottingham Forest to make this happen. Now, there is other councils involved and other organisations involved, but it is certainly looking like Nottingham Forest will be given the green light to have their stadium extended, finally, after years of trying to make it happen, since it became a concept, and it's now looking very possible. And as David says, again, Rushcliffe are supporting the plans. Sorry, Ramsey is not on a free. Apologies for that. Or is he on a free? I don't know what the situation with Ramsey is. I'm losing it now. I'm too warm. But yeah, listen, stadium. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. We all know how much disruption with all the new stadium works that could come into play, and also the amount that away we have to have away capacity in the stadium. It's going to mean we lose home followers. It's annoying. I know it's distraught for a lot of people that haven't had the opportunity, and I'm so fortunate to be able to have the opportunity every week. And if I could, I'd have a Forest fan that can't get a ticket every week to come and sit next to me. Unfortunately, I can't do that. But who knows, in the future we might be able to make it happen. But listen, it's a shame. It's a shame about the attendance situation. But saying that, next year 38,000, maybe even more. Who knows? 38,000 at the moment as it stands. It's a big deal, and it's going to cost 94.4 million as well. So it's tough. It's tough. Soon be as much as HS2, or if only. And you've got to think, as Jason said, the economic impact it has on Nottingham is massive. Thousands of new jobs, loads of new jobs at Forest alone, businesses popping along around the area, regional development, urban development, massive. For tourism as well, it's huge. And Notts County, they're going to be making, they're going to be benefiting from it, because the city of Nottingham will have more people travelling to watch the great sports we have, whether that is football, whether that is cricket, whether it is anything, even basketball at youth levels as well. There's a lot going on in Nottingham. So yeah, it's interesting. Ramsey's trying to cancel contract, so he could be a free if that works out. And when we upgrade the stadium, have a giant screen at Meadow Lane and let 10,000 watch from there, that'll be interesting. For 1 year, it will be a nightmare, Bob. It'll be horrible, but that's just how it is. Start work on the 29th. Sorry if you see, I do sit in the main stand at the moment, but I think they're moving the commentary box, or they're going to give us alternate arrangements. So as long as they give us a good view, I'm happy. Report the other day said that Aaron Ramsey is negotiating with Juventus to be released, I'm guessing by mutual termination from the final year of his contract. So could be signed on a free. Let's have a look. Main stand to be renamed Tocky Daycare stand. Wow. Oh, Peter Taylor stand. No way. We've got to, yeah. Dan Taylor article on the stadium, very interesting. The council's conditions are ridiculous with the stadium, but you have to think about this, right? Forest, the stadium is built in a terrible area. It's terrible because there's residents next to the stadium. There's a river next to the stadium. There's a car park that we need that we're going to have to extend out of. There's residency everywhere. There's obviously Home Pierpont to the other side of it, and the other, like, where they keep all the boats and stuff, so you can't really extend much further there. Notts County got a better position because they've got land around them, could easily be bought up. Whereas Forest don't have that. And not just that, but there's also the roads you've got to take into account. We can't extend beyond the roads, because if you ruin the road infrastructure around there, it can ruin a lot, because you're connecting up Lady Bay and other parts of the city. So it is tough. And as Ben said, it is why they've capped season tickets, limited damage. But even then, there's people that are going to miss out, and it's really, really, really sad. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Right, let's get Ez in the stream. I'm going to send him a link over now. Ez Mundinho, because Ez has been a massive part of this channel. He's supported us from day dot. So let's get him in and see what his thoughts are on everything at the stadium. I've not spoken to him in person since the Barnsley game, so it's been hard to speak to him. 850 subscribers. Thank you all, everybody. We've done it. We've done it. Immense. I'm so grateful. It's been an absolute pleasure to have brought you this stream this evening. It's late o'clock, but we're going to keep going till 12, I would say, if my kidneys can keep up with the lack of water I'm having. Yeah, thank you all, everybody. 36,000 not big enough if we want to be an established prem. I think it's 38 though. Yeah, as Ant says, I think it is 38. I'm pretty sure, which is, I think, about the same as Juventus. So better fan base for us though. Gonna have to knock houses down, unfortunately. Yeah. That's not easy, is it? It's family homes, and it's really sad. But unfortunately, yeah, in order for it to happen, there is going to be houses knocked down and people moved out of houses of decades, that they've been living there. But that's the reality of it, unfortunately. 38,000 will be awesome, definitely. David, can we have some women in the stream? Listen, if there's lots of women that watch football, and lots of women that watch Forest as well. If you do want to come on the stream, I'd love to have more people on the stream. It'd be great to have a bit more of a diverse panel as well. So yeah, if you're interested, just drop me a message. Any fans, I'd be happy to have you on. Evening all, another late night watching. Adrian Heath, Minnesota versus Everton. Kick off at 1:15. Wow. Well, listen, Rico, you are a committed Everton fan, and although we are Forest fans, we adore you, Rico. You've been here since day one. So fair play to you, my friend. I hope the game goes well for you guys tonight. I hope Bridgeford, Chippy and Mackey's are safe. Yeah, same. Some top places there. I love going for a milkshake after the game, probably about 10 o'clock when the parents are pissed. or sorry, drunk. I have to keep this PG. It's great. But yeah, I mean, there's always Trent Fish Bar as well, which I go because near where my dad lives. So if the players do arrive, where would you realistically think Forest could finish? I mean, could finish. I think they could go 10th. I think they could. But I think realistically, I would say it would be. I'm still going 14th, 15th. Just being safe. But nothing's stopping us going beyond it, as the owner clearly wants. 38 is with expanded Bridgeford. Correct, Phil, you are right. David Poole keeps saying 6th. What's happening to the rowing club? Isn't that being knocked down? I think I don't know how. I don't know. You need to let me know. But I'm sure it's being knocked down. Dominic says we need to rebuild the Bridgeford end. We do at some point, but let's take it step by step. It'd be good to be at 50,000 at some point. I'm sure we could sell it out each season. We're talking about a new main stand extending the other 3. Yeah, potentially. Again, it depends how complicated the application is for that, though, because I'm sure it's not easy. So my camera's calibrating. Brilliant. Now, let's, Richard, you're right. I think we're going to have a few surprises next season for the other clubs. Now, I know that Ez is in the lobby. He's just sprung his head up because he can hear me now. And I don't know what I've interrupted him doing something there. But we're going to get Ez in now, and he's going to talk to us about the club that we both love and had the privilege of watching together at the weekend. And Ez, welcome to the stream, my friend. Great to have you. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm really well. How are you doing, Jamie? And how are you doing, everyone watching?
I'm all good, my friend. It's good to have you on. We had a good day out in Barnsley, didn't we?
That was good.
It was good, and your first time that watching Forest in a few years. Special moment for you, even though the game was fairly lackluster. We had fun in the stands, and the guy standing behind us certainly had fun. He was whatever he was on. I think everybody needed that day. Not promoting anything bad, by the way, but yeah. So Ben says some of his friends suggested the new. I won't have City Ground compared to Anfield. Our atmosphere is better because we don't just sing all of Kintyre and stop. Which, for anybody that doesn't know, if you've seen Liverpool games, that is what happens. But Ez, what do you make of all this new news about the stadium? Obviously, 38,000 capacity is I think the what they're looking at. It's going to cost £94 million. What are your thoughts on that? It's a huge sum of money, but you think it's worth it and it's something we need?
Without doubt, we need it. We wanted it for a long time, but we've not had the means or the reason to have it, to be honest. But now, yeah, absolutely, it's so necessary. And I don't want to sound cheesy saying this, but I've got to say this. And we've got all the councils, so it's 3 councils, isn't it? That's the problem. Part of the issue as well. So it's Nottingham City Council, Nottinghamshire County Council, and of course Rushcliffe Borough Council. All 3 haven't agreed so far. That's what's part of it that's been holding it up. But we've got to see the bigger picture, and the team we're building. We're not building a team to survive. Well, we're not building a team to avoid relegation. We're building a team to survive and be competitive in the Premier League. So the club's ambitions are long term. We've got here finally after all this time. We've got here, and we've got to. It's got to be a move that everybody's pushing in the right direction, and that includes the councils involved. We've got to see the bigger picture. I'm gutted, but I'm not going to get to games. Supported them all my life, and because I've missed out since COVID, I feel like I'm not being punished, but I'm not alone. The majority, this is the thing, the majority of us aren't going to get to games. The majority of Forest fans are not going to get to games, and that is a big, big shame. After all this time and after all this hope and all everything that's gone on in the last 23 years. We all deserve it. So, and this is the cheesy bit, but it's not for me. It's for the next generation. This team in the Premier League is gonna. I've seen so many kids wearing Forest shirts. It's so heartwarming to see it. Kids that probably last year were wearing Liverpool shirts and Man City shirts and Arsenal shirts are wearing Forest shirts now, and I want to see. You need to see more and more, and it's for the next generation, because if they can't get to games, they're not going to have that connection that I had when I was a kid. You know, even if I didn't get to as many games, I wasn't a season ticket holder when I was young, but I got to as many games as I was able to, and it grew my love for the club. You know, and if the youngsters can't get to see the games, it's going to be a short-lived, short-lived thing for them, and that's who it's for. It's for the next generation. So, councils, get together. It's not for me. Do it for the kids. You know, make sure that they can get to the games and make sure they can be the next generation. Because people like me, we're not going to be around. Well, none of us are going to be around forever. But you know, yeah, it's for the next generation. So it's so important that this happens, and the sooner the better.
So it's about much more than watching a game on a Saturday. It's about dreams being made. It's about memories being made. And sometimes, you know, people do spend their final moments with family members at football games. You know, there's lots of games where some fans perhaps, you know, haven't got long left, unfortunately, you know, due to various issues. And sometimes you go to a game with your, you know, friend or family, and unfortunately it's the last time you meet them. You know, football matches are important, and they play a big part in families. And you know, and although there'll be arguments sometimes after a game of how much you've spent on beer or how long you've been out, you know, at the end of the day, I think you come home and, you know, if you've had a good win, you have a nice time, and, you know, you speak with your family, and, you know, you just enjoy yourself, and that's what football's all about. So it's much more than just expanding the stadium. Now, going to go on to this one. I'm going to say 2-1. That's what I'm going for. But keeping on the talk of the stadium, more kids need more access. They are the future, absolutely. And as Paul says, this is really important, what Paul's saying. Don't measure a Forest fan by the amount of games that they go to. Some have to work weekends and some could not afford. Does not make them any less of a fan. And that's so true. Because as I know that you've really wanted to go and watch Forest. I know you have. You know, and I know, even though it was just Barnsley, a League One side in the pre-season, I know how much that opportunity for you to go meant to you. You know, and that was nice to see, you know, and anybody that has tickets spare, you know, please take Ez into account, because I'm sure he'd love to come to games.
No, bless you. But yeah, I mean, for Liam to do that for both of us, you know, that's what this community is about, you know. And the first time we met each other, first time we met Liam, we've only ever talked on your live streams, and obviously we've had the private chats as well. But I'd never met you guys before, you know, and that was a really special day in more ways than one for me. And I can't emphasize how much that meant to me. So yeah, big shout out to Liam for organising that, and his friend for getting us a ticket. So yeah, really appreciate that, and it was a good experience. You know, our fans were amazing that day. You know, we really you know, took over Barnsley that afternoon, and the weather was amazing, and yeah, it was just a really good day. And even if it was pre-season, it was just the whole buzz about being back on the match day was really. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's just good to be back. It's good to be back, isn't it? And you know, for you, it's not just back. The season's back. It's for you being back and watching your team that you love. You know, and you share the enthusiasm and passion we all have about this club. And I'm praying and hoping that you do get a game this season, and I'll do everything I can to try and get you there this season, because I know sometimes my dad's tickets come up free. So you know, maybe you could borrow his one time, or a couple of times or whatever. Dad, if you are listening, that'd be great if you can let that happen, please. So it'd be amazing. So let's have a quick look. And yeah, you know, as Toby says, you know, his wife's disabled and he's full-time carer. Money's tight, you know, and especially at the moment, you know, money really is tight. Families are struggling. You know, individuals are struggling, you know, and that's really tough. So it's really sad. It is really sad. But I just hope that people help each other as a community and put the correct contingencies in place so that, you know, fans that can't go because of money or whatever, or because they're ill, or, you know, or they've got work or something, they can get to games in the future. You know, I hope that things are done for that. And in terms of the rowing club as well, yeah, it does look like that'll be going with the plans, but it'll probably be redeveloped somewhere in the in that stand, or the expansion that they're making. Will it have safe standing to take the gate up further? Potentially. I know they've trialled it and they said it's allowed now. So anything happen.
Yeah,
Anything
really
could.
it would be a good option to have safe standing. Absolutely, I think we can do it. We can do it well. So yeah, I think that's something we should look at definitely if it's an option for us.
Well, do you prefer standing or sitting?
I do prefer standing. So first Forest games I went to was when we had the old Trent End and we just stood there, and it was a different atmosphere. And as a youngster, it was I couldn't see much of it. I'm short enough now, so even shorter then. But yeah, so I struggled to see it, but the atmosphere I enjoyed it. But yeah, a safe standing option would be something that I hope the club would look at. Definitely. But yeah, it's like I say, the main thing is, I'll just plug my channel a little bit because it is something that I discussed in one of my videos about how fans are being judgmental of others and treating them as not Forest fans because if you can't get to a game, the majority of us aren't going to get to games. So that doesn't make us any less passionate about our club and doesn't make us any less Forest fans. So a lot of us are going to be in the same boat, but we're going to support the team all the way. And I'm sure Sky love us, I know a lot of people say Sky don't, but Sky actually love us. We actually get the best in the Championship. We drew the highest crowds on their live matches, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're very popular come the next season. There'll be a lot of Forest games streamed on Sky and BT and other platforms as well. So it's not we'll support them one way or another, but our heart's always there. Our anthem means a lot. We always want to be there. We all want to be at the City Ground, and hopefully one day we'll get the opportunity for a lot more of us to get there. But 38,000, even that doesn't sound like enough at the moment. You'd think that you could fill that out easily. You could even possibly fill that out in season tickets alone. The demand is so high. So let's hope this buzz continues and it's not just a flash in the pan. I don't think it is. I think this is so eagerly awaited, so long awaited. For some people, it's never happened in their lifetime. And for others, we've had to wait this whole 23 years. So it's just timing.
It's never happened in my lifetime, this situation. It's been heartbreak after heartbreak. And I think in terms of what's going on now with the club and fans and, the whole community situation, this is why I think YouTube is so important. And I think YouTubers, whether it be me, Dor, Rads, Matchday with Max, you, Liam, and others, and Liam's, the young lad, was it KB? Sports with KB or something like that?
KB, yeah.
Football with KB, YouTubers from, all around the club, and not just our club, but other clubs as well. For fans that can't actually get in, we provide an essential service to people, and we care. People that couldn't get to the game, I'll try and put highlight videos whenever I can. I try and put, any stats I can. I just try and get people engaged and, talk to fans. You don't have to just talk to us. There's other people in the chat that you're talking to, people that as well. And the support we give each other is just immense. And to be part of that is amazing, no matter where you're supporting from. So, David, I know you're supporting in France. There's people supporting in Australia, Sweden, Norway, America, all watching the stream tonight. South Africa with Sean. It's one of those, and it's just immense to bring us all together. Now, Jigsy, Ez's channel, that is Ez_sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ez_sense. If you do want to subscribe, it's Ez_sense. That's EZ_SCENTS. I did spell that right. That spelling bee, wasn't it? And Fulham home, as you can have Phil's ticket for Fulham at home. So listen, Phil says you can have an upgrade for under 23, but he's not paying for it.
No, that's so nice, Phil. Yeah, I'll absolutely take you up on that offer, please. Yeah, if it's available, absolutely. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, it'd be great if you can help us with that. And as your Twitter is at Ez_sense, isn't it? Anyway, so just message him on Twitter, Phil. That's really, really nice of you. Thank you for that.
Thanks so much. And this is what I'm saying. This is what it's all, the community want to help each other out. Excuse me, but something I'm and I'd love to get our viewers' feedback on this. So something that myself and Joe Pratton are looking at doing is creating a Forest Hub channel where all the content creators can come and participate. Any fan can come and chip in. You know, we want this is what's great about Jamie's channel, and I'm going to mention him and Door's channel as well. You know, they're community channels. You know, they involve people, they involve everybody. I wouldn't be here if Door didn't give me a chance on one of his streams. And then I got in touch with Jamie. We got on really well, and he's had me on a few times. And I really love. I mean, I've said before, I can sit and talk Forest with anybody, anytime. But Jamie's just one of those easy to talk with guys. And we had really great chats, didn't we, on our drive up to Barnsley and back on Saturday. And yeah, it was really great to get to know you a little bit better. And everybody, you know, I mean, yeah, work commitments have been a big issue for me as well. But it's something that, you know, everyone's got, you know, commitments that they have to prioritize. And unfortunately, that has been my priority over the last couple of years. But I'd do it all over again. You know, I did what I had to do for a reason, and it's the same for everyone. And obviously, lockdown wasn't beneficial to any of us, lot really, was it? You know, so everybody had to deal with it in their own different ways. But in terms of how well everyone's buzzing, everyone's on a high at the moment, and rightly so. And let's just keep it up, because the club are fueling it as well. I mean, you and I haven't even talked about the transfers coming in today and all the names that have been linked. It's been such a buzz. You know, I've been at work all day, but I've got a friend who works in the same place as me, and he's always checking his phone, and he comes up and gives me updates in between my customers and stuff like that. So it's such a buzz, and yeah, I'm loving it at the moment. Let's just keep it up. And you know, we've been through a lot of rubbish, you know, and
Absolutely.
it's about enjoyed what's going on right now, and yeah, enjoyed the moment, definitely.
It's been 23 hard years as a club, you know, and it's been 2 or 3 years of really hard life, just being a human being. You know, the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, although we're in a privileged position to be where we are, still tough times, but it's good to see that sports, and in particular this club, is bringing out the hope and the happiness, because it does make you feel happier when you're just doing your day to day. You know, now Forest have been promoted, I feel more happy. You know, to think I'm even doing YouTube for a Premier League club is one. To think I'm, you know, going to speak to Colin Fray on a daily basis for, you know, on behalf of a Premier League club, and be able to speak to these great people, to meet great names, to speak to Steve Cooper, it's a dream. And yeah, it's just great to have you on. And Lewis, I appreciate your comment as well. Hans, we are going to shock people. Thank you, Chris, for your comment. Listen, we're going to make this happen. It's going to be a good year. Get Abby on. It'll be in Berlin. Listen, I'm trying to get loads of people on. As I said, Colin Fray, Gary Birtles, maybe King Billy, who knows? But anything can happen, and I'm trying my best. But let's talk about today's signings. Let's talk about that. Now, Harry Toffolo, Lewis O'Brien, you know, 2 big signings for the club. And I've got to say, Lewis O'Brien, I think he's going to be class. And as we saw today, Toffolo really is the real deal. A bit of a blow having Omar Richards out with injury, obviously with the hairline fracture. But how are you feeling? Are you feeling fairly optimistic with Toffolo replacing him? What are your thoughts on the 2 signings overall?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously really happy with the signings. I don't know a single Forest fan who isn't pleased with those 2 coming in. I don't know if it's the added element of a Huddersfield Town banter and all that, but it's definitely, everyone's buzzing about these 2. And it's the second time, isn't it? So even the Niakate deal at one point they said was dead in the water, and it was resurrected. Yesterday they said, you know, the deal's dead or the deal's gone, and it was resurrected. It just shows how well thought out the recruitment is, and how ruthless they are being in getting who they want to get. You know, I'm really impressed with it. And 2 players that I'm so glad are out of the club. Toffolo fits straight in. My thinking always was, if we were going to get him back, he'd actually be first choice, and it'd actually be Omar Richards who'd be fighting to get in. But I think, I can't remember if it was O'Brien or Toffolo mentioned in interview about, there's 2 players for each position. There's competition, and we're really looking forward to it. That's exactly what it's got to be about. It's got to be about competition, but healthy competition where we're all backing each other. Whoever's not in is pushing the person on who is in, and the person who's in is looking behind their back, thinking, if I make one mistake, there's talent waiting to replace me. So how could it be any better? And anybody who thinks this is no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to jinx it, but I don't think we'll be battling at the wrong end of the table next season, personally. But and I don't think that's what the club are planning for, And I mentioned it to one of the comments earlier. I think it was Will, who was talking about Niakarte's performance today, who does look absolute class. He actually I always thought if they do play the 3 of them, Worrell, McKenna, and Niakarte, that Niakarte would be playing on the left and McKenna would drop into the middle. But it seemed like it was Niakarte in the middle, and he was still able to come out with the ball and look comfortable on it. And I think actually that position suited him more, gave him a lot more time. He does look class, and he looks like he's worth every single penny that we've paid for him. And he's not going to be the only one that value signing I think we're going to get this season. But he's one that we'll look back and say, he was worth every penny, I think.
I was going to, I was going to ask about the whole defender situation, because what I said, and I won't say what David Paul said on this because everybody knows what he said on this, but I said that I would have Niakarte in the left centre back and McKenna in the middle. But do you know what? There's an element of anxiety within me that doesn't want to see McKenna move at all and just stay where he is because of how good he was there. And it's like, even moving him in position, it would scare me. Obviously, it wouldn't change much. But if Niakarte is doing well in it, you don't fix it if it isn't broken. You know what I mean? You can't. So, yeah, it's good to see the recruitment's working well as well. They're looking at Bundesliga, and it seems to be working really well. So Mangala could be a good option. And as Ben says, and I'm in complete agreement, Dane Murphy's a genius. He is the best thing to happen to us in 23 years. And him... Because I think didn't he bring Steve Cooper to the club? I'm pretty sure he was one of the contributors.
Yeah. It was just a way. They had to find a way of sacking Houghton, but Houghton did his own. Not to mention his name, but he did his own. He did his own work for him, But yeah, I think it was certainly Dane that brought him in, and I just even look at his signings. So that was what my comment was. Like, these are signings that are taking us to the next level, and they're future-proofing us, because if the worst happened, telling me we couldn't get most of our money back on these players, So yeah, and certainly I can't see some of the youngsters that we signed losing their value. Nico Williams, he's not going to lose his value in 2, 3, 4 years' time. Really, really pleased with the way we've gone about it. Really pleased with the age group of players he's looking at and the quality. And Emmanuel Dennis, let me just mention him because he is a player that I looked at last season a few times, and I can't remember who commented today, but yes, he did drop off. That second half of the season, he did drop off. But when I watched him, he reminded me so much of Brennan Johnson. Watch his running style, he's very Brennan Johnson-like. 2-footed as well. He's right-footed, but his left foot seems to be, certainly for shooting with his left foot, he's scored some cracking goals, and it seems to be a little bit stronger than Brennan's, but very Brennan Johnson-like player. If you watch him, watch his highlights reel. I know you can't take too much off it, but you watch how he plays, watch how he dribbles, watch how he, his reactions, very Brennan Johnson-like. Yeah, really impressive.
It is good, and I agree. I agree from the limited highlights I've watched of him, and also sometimes watching him, a few.
Have we lost you, Jay? Oh, you're not leaving it with me again, mate. All right, Jay's cut out. I can't see any comments, so I'm just going to grab my laptop. Oh, Jay, you back?
Sorry.
Yes.
No.
It's all right.
I'm
I was going to start singing.
Am I back fully now?
Yeah. Back now.
Sorry about that. Peter, you ruined my question. I was going to actually ask Ez what he thought on Lingard. Now, yesterday, it was almost bombshell. The Lewis O'Brien and Toffolo thing happened. It was 40 degrees. We were all hot and bothered, and we couldn't deal with it anymore. And then only could journalists throw our hearts back into a meltdown. Nottingham Forest are going to make a proposal to Jesse Lingard, And everybody thought, well, it's ridiculous. It's just an agency thing to try and get people to sign and do this. But it's genuinely serious. Forest are now 1-6 to sign him, so almost guaranteed. They're in pole position. They're going to offer him more money than West Ham, there's no doubt, unless there's late changes. What do you think about that? When I say rumour, what do you think about that that proposal? You know, are you happy? I can imagine you're a bit shocked.
Yeah, it's a mixture of shock and happiness, to be honest. And I was a bookie for 4 years. Can I tell you, the bookies are very rarely wrong. You know, if he's 1-6, it's almost he's there. You know, yeah, really shocked with it initially, and I haven't been his biggest fan. But again, I'm criticizing for what he does off the field, not for what he does on the field. On the field, I can't fault him. You know, his ability, his skill, what he gives when he's on the pitch. I'm not going to fault him for that one little bit, but I'm I'm not one of those TikTok generation, but let him do what he does as long as it doesn't interfere with his football. I don't have a problem with that. But he's a player. He's a player, that's for sure. You know, you saw the difference he made to West Ham last season when he went in, and I don't know how desperate we are. I think we've got so many, and pardon the pun, but West Ham got so many irons in the fire. They're not gonna pursue him if if the price isn't right for them. So I think it looks like he's coming to us. And like you said earlier, if Cooper wants him, I want him. If Cooper thinks he'll fit, I think he'll fit. And he's an exciting player. I just looking at the financials then. So 9-point-something million a year. So equates to roughly just under 30 million over a 3-year contract.
So
now, if we're going to give
9.36 million a year.
So about 27 million, isn't it? Just under 20 million. Yeah, over 3 years. And that's in wages. You'll probably get a bit of a signing on fee as well. But then you look at the Morgan Gibbs White, that's 30 million minimum plus his wages. So that's a big difference, adding on his wages on top of that. And yes, he won't be on the same amount in wages as Lingard, but that's still conservative estimate. You're looking at an extra 5-6 million on top per year. So that's looking like a 60 million pound deal or more, depending on how long a contract. I don't know. This is what split me. Would I still want Gibbs White, and would the clubs want both? If it's possible, it's exciting.
Possible, yes.
Yeah, it's exciting to even think about that, isn't it? This is what I've said before as well. Nobody should be moaning because we have never been in this position. Every time we got promoted to the Premier League from when we got relegated, we'd never had any money. We've never been in this position. So nobody should be moaning. Nobody should be saying, oh, we're overpaying for this and overpaying for that. The club will do what's right. They're not going to bankrupt us. We're going to do what's right. So if the money gets spent, I think our early estimates of 110 million are going to look a bit weak. I think it's going to be a lot more than that, And I haven't got a problem with it. I really don't have a problem with it. I've never seen us in this position before, We're having money going into a Premier League season and not just having the money, because we could have gone up with Fawaz and wouldn't have happened under the way he was doing it with his money. And it wouldn't have been spent right. The way it's being spent and the backroom that we've got in organising it, I don't have any doubt over what's going on right now. I have 100% faith in them, and I've never had that. And to have that plus the money, this is the best position Forest have ever been in. I'll say it hands down, we've never been in this position. So no one knows what's going to happen, but let's hope for the best. And the club are trying to do the best that you can to make us competitive and not just survive in the Premier League.
This is what it's all about. And I've just said, just sit back and enjoy the ride. Have your opinion, but just enjoy it. They're going to be looking strategically and looking at the money spending and not being stupid, because they've seen it with other clubs like Fulham, perhaps, who just go up and down. They don't want that to happen to Forest. And they've seen clubs like Leeds and Brentford who need to make who need to spend a decent amount of money, but need to spend it smart and know what tactics they're going to use. Wolves want 30 plus add-ons for Gibbs White, so it's just going up by the day. Gibbs White probably will stay at Wolves just because of that valuation. And Nick, yeah. I don't look. It's not speculation. It's not speculation at all. I don't agree on that one. Because you've got journalists all around the world, and this is Daniel Taylor as well reporting.
Yeah.
You know, West Ham aren't willing to pay more than 150,000, so it's not going to be lower. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be lower. Obviously, there's other add-ons as well. You've got to think about signing on fee, loyalty, and agent fee as well, and performance-related bonuses. We don't know what's going on with that, but it will be over 150k. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Any doubt. And if it's less, then fair enough. I'll eat my hat, and I mean that. But you literally, I will. But it will be over 150k. Okay? I'm not going to get that. I bet my hat on that. And I like my hat. It's a pretty green hat, and it's just behind. You can see the little bucket hat just there. See if I can.
Oh,
just
yeah.
That. Yeah, that I'll eat it. I mean, it is a bit too small for me, but I'll eat it anyway. His wages were 75k, but starting negotiations were 180. So he's wanting a pretty big increase in wages. It's fair to say. I mean, how much time does he think he have in football? I mean, if he stayed at Forest for 3 years, what's that? He's going to be 32.
Yeah, it's 28, isn't it? Yeah, 28 or 29. Yeah, 29.
So it'd be 32 if he was on a 3-year deal, and I can't imagine he'd stay much more than that. 32, you're thinking about nearing on getting to your last club, perhaps. So anything can happen. And as Ant says, at the moment, the rumour going around, there's no confirmation. It's looking likely, though, that his medical will be on Friday. Some saying it'll be tomorrow, but I would say the likelihood is Friday. I would say always go for the later date. That's just me. I always think a little bit more kind of last case scenario, which is bad at times. But I do think last case, and I think Friday will be the one. But it takes time, and you've got to give it time. So let's just see what happens. Maybe it's a few million signings on the fee, 80 to 100k. Yeah, there could be a big bonus in there for him to. Yeah, but West Ham obviously aren't willing to match us financially, but that doesn't necessarily just mean wages. There's other bonuses you've got to think about as well. It's literally not just a case of here's the money, that's it. There's also, well, if you get 10 goals, you get this. Here's what you're going to get to sign on and more. So let's have a look. Perfect night, Forest win. Then the live stream sends the missus to sleep, and I get to watch my own on my own in peace. I love that. Hold on, the live stream sends the missus to sleep. Wow. No, I see how it is. Paul, you need to say to you.
More active one, mate.
Oh no, stop. Hey, listen. When I start singing, she'll wake up again. As long as you've got people that can replace your windows, you should be fine. I'm joking. Me and Ez will have a sing off for 1,000 subscribers. We will. Okay. Well, come on, we'll do it.
If that happens, we'll do it. When that happens, sorry. Not if that happens. When that happens.
He says if. Guys, he's making a challenge for me now. He's scaring me. We're trying to get 1,000 by the start of the season. Come on. This is it'd be good if we can. Now, Cooper, Yates and Surridge are not far from returning. Great news. I'll kind of ask you a bit more on the injury situation in just a second, but I want to say what Warren said because it's important. Just check odds checker. Lingard to Forest now down to 1-3 on West Ham out 10-3, so not bad. Would you take Dzeko on a short term? Potentially. I think Dzeko's got a lot of experience. Could be a decent striker, to be fair. I would say yes if we don't get Dennis or anybody else or Larson. So I would say yeah. But he is old. That's the only thing. And how much money he's on.
But he's a clinical finisher. He's a clinical finisher.
He's done it in the Champions League recently. So
he's done it in the Prem, you know. So it's, you know, he's but yeah, probably his age wouldn't suit our plans. But you know, everyone's so far we've been 25. I think Toffolo's he said he's 27, about to turn 20. 26, about to turn 27, and Lingard seems to be the oldest one we'd be looking at so far. But the majority of players have been 25 and under. So you do need a little bit of experience around that, and certainly you need Premier League experience around that. So it's not something that you'd write off, but you'd think that probably he's just too far on that end, but probably won't be someone we'd be pursuing too much.
Well, I mean, ability-wise, Dzeko is good and he's still fairly decent. But yeah, and I do agree with a lot of people. It's he's too old for me. I wouldn't want to keep bringing in really old players. Like, I think Lingard's about the right age. That's about the oldest I would go if I was manager. I know people spoke of Aaron Ramsey's 31. I still think it's a bit too old. I think Lingard's got about the right amount of experience and to the point where he can be remolded into a team. He hasn't played in our tactic before, so we really do need to get him in as quick as we can. If we're going to get him, we need to get him in by Friday. Let's be honest. He needs to have at least a game against, maybe not Union Berlin, but maybe not counting Valencia. He at least needs that minimum, right? If he could get Union Berlin, then that'd be great, but minimum, it takes time, doesn't it? We need to see him come soon. Jesse will have medical and play in Berlin Saturday. Wouldn't that be great? Because I mean, Phil, we're going to get to meet him. I'm hoping to meet them all if I can and get it all on camera, because that'd be awesome. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Darth Brexit says, bring the Argentinian striker. I'd have him, Castellanos. He was really good for New York City, but I think he's going to Girona. It's part of the City group, so I think that's going to happen now, unfortunately, for us. A Build-A-Guard's been mentioned. Nothing really movement on that side, but yeah, that's one of them things. So right, Ez, let's have a quick look at this. So we mentioned earlier a little bit about injuries. Now Yates and Surridge, they shouldn't be too much longer. But your thoughts on the injury situation? How worried are you? Do you think we're prepared depth-wise, or do you think we still need a lot more? Well, we are going to need more signings, but how confident are you if a couple of players did get injured? Do you think we'd be able to get other players to replace them fairly quickly?
Yeah. I'm not. Obviously, I'm really sorry to see that, because a hairline fracture can be it can be a long recovery, But let's hope it's not. It might be one of those Cooper injuries. He said it's not going to be days and weeks. It's going to be months, but not months and months for his recovery. But we'll see what happens with that. I think we need, as long as we can strengthen that midfield, it kind of gives the versatile players like Colback as backup for a left position. But Toffolo, as long as Toffolo stays fit, I'm confident, because we've got backup. You've got the ability for Colback to slot back in there if needed. You've also got the ability for Nico Williams to switch across there if needed. Biancone, how's he going to fit in with a team at the moment? So you've got adaptable players, and the club have covered their backs. They're not put all their eggs in one basket. They're not leaving themselves short in any position. So hopefully by the time we get to the season, hopefully that's the whole point, that we have cover and we have injury cover as well, because there are things that you can't legislate for, you can't plan for, but you have to have some sort of backup in place, So I'm not worried, but ideally, obviously, you want a fully fit squad. But when do you ever get that, When do you ever have a fully fit squad throughout the whole season? So, we'll get the players in to make sure we've got backup in the right places. I'm sure we will.
So what do you think about signing another left back? Because obviously you said that the recovery can be long. We don't know what could happen to Toffolo. Touch wood, nothing happens, and I'm sure it won't. But do you think maybe Biancone could cover that position? I mean, I know he's versatile, but is he that versatile?
I think he is that versatile, but also I'm forgetting a player that I mentioned the other day who impressed me in that second half at Barnsley, which was Iowanu. I think he's still got something there, I wouldn't rule him out. It wasn't Cooper that got rid of him. It was Houghton that sent him out on loan, So he was sent out before Cooper got a chance to actually have a look at him. And I don't think he would have sent him out, to be honest. I think he... Say again?
He could play wing back, though, because, I mean, unless they go to a back four, where I think he would do better because he's more defensive. Do you think he could suit that wing back role as well as Toffolo and Richards do?
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to do so on Saturday. He was in acres of space up that left-hand side, So yeah, I think he can work in that. He's got pace. He's athletic. He's agile, and he has got a really good cross on him, Yeah, so he's another one who I overlooked myself. But yeah, I think he's probably not going to be sent away. And also mentioned before when I saw that what's our defender that we sent out on loan to who's the defender that we sent, a young defender we sent out on loan. Sorry, I'm forgetting his name right now. But sorry, say again. No,
Finback.
No, we're not going to go.
Not Panzo. Panzo. Panzo.
Yeah,
forget Panzo.
Oh. Now I'm sorry, I just forgot his name. Panzo and Mbeso are our backups, and it seems like Mbeso is a little bit ahead of him. And he looked really good today. He looked really comfortable on the board today, and he played in a back four with Cook in the back four. So he looked really comfortable. So I think he's going to stay with us with the Premier League squad. I don't think he's going to be loaned out or certainly not sold. So his progression will come, his opportunity will come, and we've got plans in place for our youngsters as well. We're not just going to dismiss them. They're going to be given to clubs that are going to help them, get better and get the game time that they need. Possibly Mighton might be playing himself in. Even Lau Taylor, he was deserving of his 2 goals today. He was a real nuisance for them, and he's pushing for a place. So everyone's trying to step up, and there's the opportunity there for us to have a strong enough squad going into a first Premier League season in 23 years. And I'm really hopeful. I don't want to be confident. I don't want to be cocky, but I'm really hopeful, definitely.
Absolutely, as you should be. I think we've got a lot to be confident about now. Guys, we are an hour and 26 minutes in. Az, are you working in the morning?
Yeah, always.
What time?
I am, but I'm a late. I wouldn't be. Yeah, I'm a late one. But yeah, I am working. So we'll go. It's up to you, mate. You call it, and I'll stick with you.
Let's go to 12:15.
It's nearly midnight now. So what are you going to call?
I'm going to go 12:15 because I've got Germany tomorrow, so I'm literally packing all day. I've sorted my Euros today, so I don't really want to be.
Where did you get your Euros? You should come to me. You didn't mention it to me. I told you I'm a Euro man. You should have come to me.
Wait, seriously?
Yes, I told you this.
Oh, I forgot now. Oh, sugar. I went to the post office.
Oh God. Okay. We'll have this word. I'll have this word with you off here. Okay.
This was my mum. I said to her, I was like, Mum, Sainsbury's are doing it better. They're like £100 is like 130 euros they were offering, and it's like I got 230 euros for £216. I was like, oh God. So this is a conversation off air.
We'll have it off air.
We'll have this conversation. I have a feeling I'm about to get a telling off. But for Ben made a comment, and he said you should try and get Lee Wood on. Now, before Lee Wood became a world champion, I actually met him in a gym. My dad was in the gym, and this is an interesting story. So I was in the gym, and I was doing jiu-jitsu at the time, so I was just practicing, more so just kicking the bag and just having a bit of fun, to be honest. And Lee Wood's behind me, obviously actually fully practicing on the punching bags and everything. He's really giving it some. I'm looking over like, who's that guy? And then this guy, a couple of years later, I get in contact with him, meet him at the City Ground, get a photo with him. Be 3 or 4 years ago now, and I get to interview him before he was a world champion, right? Just become Commonwealth champion, I think, around that area. And I've had the pleasure of interviewing him. So if you want to hear the podcast with me and Lee Wood 2 years ago, just after we missed out on promotion with Sabri, I've got it available. But I've messaged. I literally, as soon as you sent in that message about Lee Wood, I sent a message over to him. So let's all see how it goes. Lee, if you're listening, or if you ever see this, come on, jump on the stream. Even for 10 or 20 minutes, I've made the offer for him. I know he's busy trying to get a new fight, so it's going to be tough trying to get him on. But that being said, I have messaged him. So let's just see how it goes, and maybe we can get Lee Wood on the podcast. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Things are going well here. And guys, if you like the content we have, you can just drop a subscribe. It only takes a second. There's currently 856 of you subscribed now. So tonight's been a good night. So it'd be great if you could help us. Any guest suggestions as well, guys, that you want, I can try and make happen. Gary Birtles is the one that we're closest to, but even that's not easy. Get Darren Fletcher on with you and Ez. That'd be amazing.
He's one of my heroes. Yeah,
he's one of your heroes. Come on, let's make it happen. I've got a friend that goes golfing with him. His name's Trev Broadley. So, Trev, if you're listening as well, please make this happen. Because I met Darren Fletcher in a pub. Because Trev walked in. I mean, I don't know if he was drunk or what. But he was, Trev's a happy guy anyway. Just walks into the pub straight away, gives a hug to my dad, and Darren Fletcher's there. And I'm like, oh, my God. Bit speechless. But, yeah, amazing. Where are we going tomorrow? So Dor, obviously me, Dor, Lee and Billy going to Germany tomorrow. Dor, we are meeting, I think Hucknall tram stop at 9. Just message the group. I'm sure Phil will tell you about it. I know what he's doing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 9 o'clock that he's getting there. I'm going to get there at that time as well, just to be extra early and safe. So yeah, whenever you're ready, mate, just ping me a message. Big Mart says, early start for me, guys. Good evening to everybody watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Absolutely. Big Mart, it's been a pleasure to have you in the stream and you watching. It means a lot to us. And a pleasure to have exchanged our views and have you listen to that. Paz LeBron, I've subbed with various accounts. Oh, thank you very much. It means a lot to me. Travel experts recommend holiday cards. I don't know. See, this is it. I don't actually know anything about holiday cards, so that's a bit of a bad mistake on my end, but I'm going back into the EU when I go to Spain in September, so I'll probably use that, and I'm also getting a Polish passport next year, so I get to have some EU privileges, which we could have had, but I'm going to get some EU privileges, which is nice for traveling, and it'll certainly help with pre-season next year. I want to go to Greece at some point to watch Olympiacos. So Phil, thank you very much, your support. I'm so thankful. You're so supportive on Twitter and YouTube. It means a lot. Pets, plants, and fish tanks. You're amazing. Andrew, I hope everything goes okay tomorrow. Yeah, there's going to be. I know there's some thunderstorms tomorrow, but luckily we're flying on Friday at 6 a.m, so we will miss that. Yeah, check Monzo, and you don't need to change money. I haven't got Monzo, so. But a question for you, Ez, though. Has Ez sorted you out with any sense? He has. And there was a bit of a mistake on my behalf. Because what Ez did was he gave sense to everybody, to me, and I meant to distribute them. But the problem is, I've been using them thinking they're all mine. I've been thinking, how come he's given me this many cents? I
literally put the names on them.
Do you know what? I was spraying them the other day, and I was like, "Why does it say Phil on my thing?" And I was like, "Oh, do you know what? I'm not even going to bother. Maybe he's just got it all wrong." But at the moment, I'm wearing L'Adventure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Beautiful. That's my favourite by far. Yeah, I'm paying for more of that. Sort me out with a bit of that, Ez. I don't mind how much it costs. Just sort me out with a bit of it, please.
I will, definitely.
Cool. Right. Well, that's it then. That's me and Ez. We've just done a business deal over this. So if you want to become a pro on Dragon's Den, you just do that. It's called word of mouth. Fonzie, keep up the work. Have a good time in Germany, boys. Thank you. Mark, cheers. We're gonna probably have a couple of drinks and get food, which is what I'm looking forward to. And I want to go to a German McDonald's because German McDonald's are really nice. I don't know what it was when I went there. I don't know if it's just the fact I'm in a different country and it's a placebo effect that it tastes better, but for me, it just felt like it tasted better. Zinkernagel scored he did. Good work by him. Shame they couldn't get a win, but good result for him. Eve, you can 100% meet me and Ez at some point. And unfortunately, I won't be at the Fulham game, so I won't get to see you there, as I'll be on holiday then. But Eve, if you are going to the Fulham game, I'm sure Ez would be more than happy to meet you. Now, Phil's got another question for you. Now, we are approaching the last 10 or so minutes of the stream, so any questions you've got, feel free to ask us. Now, Ez, do you have any scents that smell like Ralph Safari?
I haven't smelled Safari since I was in my teens. I haven't smelled that for a long time, but I'll figure out what the scent DNA is for that one, and I'm sure I've got something that will be better. If not match it, but be better than that, definitely. Yeah, I'll have a look, Phil. Leave it with me.
keep in touch with Ez. You can literally find him at EzSense on Twitter. Phil says we need to have a vlog, a vlog, or whatever they are. Don't worry, Phil. I've actually charged up all my GoPro batteries, so we're doing a vlog and we're going to do it GoPro style, as me and Ez did at the weekend. They're different. They take a lot of space, and let's just say that 8-minute video was 9 gigabytes worth of data. So yeah, I've bought a hard drive now, which is going to help me. I've lost it now, but yeah, I've got a hard drive somewhere. Where have I got? Oh no, I've got it up there. So Jack, thank you very much. Paul, thank you so much as well. Have a great night, my friend, and listen, I'm sure you've enjoyed some peace and quiet listening to this, as you say. Safari Ralph Lauren, that's an old classic. Muscat Boys, oh god, I can remember those days. I can remember my local corner shop used to sell musk. Oh dear. Back in I used to like it, actually, to be fair. But yeah, really, Jay, you are walking? I'm not walking. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. We've got a football related question though. Among all the great sense questions, because me and you, we need to have a session discussing this. If we sign Dennis, who starts? Awani or Dennis? I would say Awani at the moment. And then ease Dennis in if things aren't going particularly well and they feel like they just needed Awani to sit back for a little bit and watch and observe a striker that's scored and got a bit more Prem experience. What do you think about that, though?
I say, let's not forget, we're going to have 5 subs in the Premier League next season. So there's every chance that most of these players are going to play every single game or a part of every single game. So, yeah, the squad's got to be big enough. You've got to have the options off the bench when things aren't going right. So, yeah, at the moment, I don't know. But it's not to say one's going to start and the other one's not going to play. They're both going to play a part if they're both available for us. So yeah, well, obviously the person in form will hold the shirt, but with 5 subs, you're going to see so much change. Like I say, I've not seen it. It's never happened in the Premier League during COVID, but that was a totally different situation. That's when it was first brought in, and like I said, the European teams kept it last season, and the Premier League didn't. But Premier League are bringing it in, so that's going to be that's a game changer. Really is literally a game changer. You'll be able to make so many different options. Like I said before, you might have a lot earlier substitutions. More often you'll see a player being brought on and then subbed off again. That might happen more often than it does. Usually that's seen as a slander on the player. But it could be a more tactical thing nowadays, So we'll see how it plays out. But just because you're starting doesn't mean the next player's not going to get on. They're more than likely going to get as well, So yeah, you have to have a squad.
Well, that's just one of the changes in standard when it comes to the movements of the Premier League, and there's also things off the pitch like lighting and other things that the stadium has to take into account. So yeah, it's a tough one. Now Eve says, I'm coming to the game against Notts County. If anything we can do to get you to that game, we will. I'll be at that game, so it'd be good to see you, and obviously Eve, see you as well if you're there. Now let's have a look at some of the comments. Have fun in Germany, please be safe. We'll try our best. We'll try our best. We're not going to be being stupid or anything. It's a completely different country, so you've got to be very, very careful. And I'm not stupid. I'm a sensible person anyway, I would say. Ben says, Ez, can you get Kuros?
Oh, he's going old school. Now, Kuros is one that not everybody likes. But again, I haven't worn it since I was in my teens, but I can get it, definitely, if somebody really wants that. But it's not... actually, I haven't smelt it in so long, I might add it to my collection. If more than one person wants Kuros, I'll get it.
Wow. Okay. If more than one person wants Kuros, they'll get it. You can subscribe to as_sense, and he'll be bringing you all the latest sense that he's got, and also the prices. So he'll be bringing you all and believe me, it's worth it. I don't think we'll get Conor Gallagher on loan. I think Chelsea have got him in their plans for next season with 5 subs as well. They've got to take that into account as well. All clubs do. Maybe we'll be blind with the new lights. I've got glasses on as well, so The only thing stopping me from being blind is currently the main stand, the Peter Taylor stand. So yeah, no more kicking the ball, boys, for not giving the ball back. Yeah, because there's multiple balls. Jay, if you've used my free AirSense walking in an open, oh come on,
have you? You haven't used them all up, have you?
No, I haven't.
Lee was asking me this morning.
Oh, he was fuming. He wasn't happy. Lee wasn't happy as well. I know. Maybe not fuming, but he wasn't very happy. I remember looking at the tone of the text and I thought, oh God, I didn't even realise at the time. But I'm literally not going to use any other than the Ladventure one, because that's my favourite anyway. But I'm just not going to use any of them now because I'm too scared. And Phil,
one of them is actually yours. You know, one of the Versace's is yours. I think it's a Mono Fresh. That's yours. You know, anyway. But yeah, yours go for the rest of the lads. So I hope they get enough. Dor won't be too happy as well. He's got his as well in there. So
let's just hope he's not Sean John.
That's on you, mate. I literally put their names on it. I literally put everyone's name on it. I says, I'm coming to you. I'll leave them with you because you were the easiest for me to get to. And obviously you were going to meet up with the rest of the guys as well. Even Billy's got one. I don't even know Billy, but Billy's got one as well because I thought I'm not leaving anyone out. I don't know what you've done, mate.
For Lee, Billy and Phil, I'm sorry in advance, but when we come back from Germany, there is a free meal waiting for you at the pub. So, you know, that's kind of a good balance. Yeah. So now I can use all the fragrance. Yeah, let's go. No, I'm joking. Warren, there'll be some good footage from this Germany travel. It won't just be the game. It'll be all around the city as well. It's going to take
GoPro. Sorry, that GoPro worked really well, didn't it? The images you got from it was brilliant, wasn't it? I was really impressed.
It's a shame you can't zoom in on it. That's my only thing. That's what I like about the conventional camera, like what Dor uses, because you can get such good quality on that. But the audio is quite good. But the thing is, it takes a long time to edit. So I'm imagining that the Germany trip as a whole will take days to edit. And I mean, I'm talking like 4 hours a day for a few days. But I'm going to make it happen. So just bear with me on that one. Used to love Burberry Touch, says Mark Dennis. Yeah, you familiar with that one?
Yep, absolute classic, that one, yeah.
Paco Rabanne Robot?
Not a big fan. I've got it. I've got a sample of it. Not a big fan. It's just too, it smells too synthetic to me. I like fragrances that smell a bit more natural. It smells too synthetic, but, you know, Paco Rabanne, that's what they do anyway. You know, if you look at 1 Million and all that sort of stuff, it's a bit, you know, they're more clubbing fragrances, and I haven't been clubbing for about 20 years, so not really my scene, to be honest.
No, as is too sensible now. No, I get it. Now, Dor's commented, you what, lol? Oh dear, I'm in trouble. This is all after stream chat now. I have a feeling that I'm going to be in a lot of trouble after this. Don't worry, Dor. It'll be made up to you. Let's just say that. I hope so. Need a Nottingham Forest fragrance, as work your magic, my friend. Jay, stick with me and my son, wearing no colours. Yeah.
You got to be careful, haven't you? There has been warnings about the ultras out there, but you guys stick together, and obviously you got Megaphone Man Lee, he's your bodyguard. But no, you know what to do, mate. Be careful. You know, stick together and don't go into the wrong areas. You know, don't be going down any back streets or anything like that. Just stick together, mate.
Yeah, and I know Lee is fully ready if someone does try. But Lee, we're going to keep this calm. My friend. It's going to be good, because I'm ready for it. I mean, obviously, you know, a little bit nervous because it's like, I mean, I sound really pathetic, right? But I'm 16, so I've not really been on a holiday without my mum before, or a lot of people, because I went with school to Germany in 2017. So I've been. That's not a problem. But it's like without my mum and only a couple of people is different. You know, it's not just down the road. It's an expensive flight to get to if anything happens. Luckily, we've all got insurance, so we're fine. But yeah, it's obviously a nervous thing. But I'm looking forward to it. And more importantly, I'm looking forward to spending good time with good friends. Lee, Mr. Dor, Billy, and Phil as well, and his son. You know, two amazing people that I'm so glad I've had the opportunity to meet through Twitter. But yeah, listen, guys, it's been a pleasure doing this stream tonight. Now, Darth Break, and this is the last thing we'll speak about. Sauvage, what are your thoughts on that? It's a good fragrance. I like it.
it's a good fragrance. But anybody watches my video, my second video, I was wearing something that is, in my opinion, better than Sauvage, and just smells nicer than Sauvage. But Sauvage is, everyone wears without seeing any problem. I like to stand out. I like my fragrance, nobody to be wearing. Well, I've just given them all to you guys, but yeah, I like to smell, stand out with my fragrances. So, yeah, it's an addiction, it's a passion, and I've gone way too far. I'm not even going to point the camera in my, literally the fragrance collection is there, but I'm not going to point my camera in that direction. It will take over the stream. But yeah, anybody honestly get in contact. I really do. I need some time to update my fragrance collection, but I have put something up on my Twitter page which shows some of them, but I've got a lot more that I haven't, got on there. But just get in touch. Tell me what kind of fragrances you like, and I'll point you in the right direction of what I think would be a better alternative if I haven't got that actual one in my collection. But yeah,
well, listen, it's good. It's good that the things you're doing. It's a shame I can't smell through the screen because I know how great it would smell, all these scents and stuff.
I'll just show you my scent of the night then, what I was wearing tonight. Just if we're going there. This one, Versace Oud Noir, which is a bit like Tom Ford's Oud Wood, but really nice and yeah, beautiful. That's what I've been wearing tonight. So yeah, little plug.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. As great to talk fragrances with you. Phil's saying it's going to cost me a fortune in duty free to get all these fragrances. I know, Phil, but if it's a fortune I've got to spend, it's a fortune I've got to spend. I'm being paid on tomorrow, so let's hope it's a good payday, shall we? Thank you all for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all with us. Listen, if you want to follow us at @as_scents on Twitter and YouTube, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, please everybody, just have a great night, have a great weekend. This will be the last stream until we do go to Germany. So let's all have a great weekend. It'd be great to see you all in Germany. Thank you for joining me.
Always.
And we'll have you on again very soon. So thank you all very much for joining, guys. Have a great evening and take care. Bye from me.